Hello, I'm here in Treehouse Museum's Walk in the Woods exhibit to tell stories today. Here at Treehouse, we love stories, especially stories that help us explore and learn about other countries or cultures. And one of my favorite collections of these kinds of stories is stories about how Rabbit got his long ears. There are so many different versions of that story told around the world. I like rabbit stories because no matter where they are from in the world, Rabbit always seems to be a tricky trickster. And of course, each of these stories is absolutely true. Now that's true, completely true. The stories I will tell to you, the way it happens through and through. From ears to tail, it's true. First, in India, they tell the story of a wise rabbit and a foolish lion. In those days, lion was a ferocious and voracious predator, always chasing the animals this way and that way and eating more than his share. Because while the lion did most of the chasing and the animals did most of the running, the longer the lion had to chase them, the more he ate when he finally caught them. Because he got hungrier and hungrier and felt quite justified in doing so. And so that when he finally caught them, he would not just eat one deer, he would eat two or five. And the animals, in terror, would run faster, making the lion work harder and run faster, and then he would eat more when he caught them. It was a vicious cycle. Until one day, the lion came up with a plan to change all of that. He roared and gathered all of the animals together to give them his proposal. Dear lunch, pray, jungle friends. We all know that there is a problem with the current situation, and I think we can agree, for starters, that both you and I are running far more than either of us would like. What do you propose, lion? The elephant cried. Well, I will agree not to chase you anymore. And in return, you will bring me one animal per day. Oh, the noises of disagreement the birds and the beasts made at that. Whoa, citizens, consider. I'll work my way through the animal species, one animal at a time. For me, it means variety, and for you, security. Observe, on Monday, I might have a rhino. On Tuesday, an antelope. On Wednesday, a nice fat monkey. But then I wouldn't have to have any of those animals for at least a month. And then again, only one. It wouldn't do to burn through my supplies too quickly. And what's in it for us? Screamed the peacock. Well, said the lion, I won't have to chase you. So I'll eat less of each of you. And because you take it in turns, no one species will be depleted. Likewise, because you're not running away from me, you'll have more time to do whatever it is that you do when you're not running away from me. Of course, there is one last condition, Lion continued. If I do this generous thing for you, then in return you must name me, once and for all, without exception, in all times and in all places, the King of Beasts. In despair, the animals discussed the lion's idea. As king, Monkey said, he will be forced to guard us as his precious resources and protect us from other hunters. And you can't ignore the practical benefit of eating only one of us a day, unless you are the one. Lion growled, Of course you can just reject this proposal, and I'll just start the chasing and eating again, immediately. And so, of course, the animals agreed, and the lion became, once and for all, without exception, in all times and in all places, the King of Beasts. The animals, for their part, began to provide a daily tribute of one animal for lunch every day. And the lion, for his part, was quite pleased with the arrangement. Each day, one of the forest creatures would be sacrificed for the greater good. Perhaps one day a peacock, and the next an elephant. Today a deer, and tomorrow a monkey. As time went on, however, it became Rabbit's turn to sacrifice himself for the greater good, and the little creature was not at all interested in becoming a lion's lunch. In those days, Rabbit had almost no ears at all. They were short and rounded, and he was almost unrecognizable. But inside, he was still that same clever rabbit, as you'll see. He dawdled on the way there, thinking and planning the whole way. In fact, he was so slow that by the time he reached the lion, it was already nearly sundown, and the king of beasts was furious. "Lunch! Where are you?" cried the lion. "Here I am," said the rabbit, somewhat timidly. "Why have you taken so long? You are late, 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 and I am hungry, hungry, hungry. And you are so tiny. You should have brought 4 or 5 rabbits to make up for your small size, and for being late." "Well, yes, great king. There were more of us when we started out. In fact, there were 6 rabbits to begin with, but on the way the rest of them were eaten, and I alone escaped to come to you," said the rabbit. "Eaten? By whom? Who would dare eat my lunch?" "I hate to say it, your majesty," said the rabbit, "but it was another lion." "Another lion?" "Yes, majesty. And when we warned him not to eat us, and that we were your lunch, he just laughed and said you were an imposter. Yes, he told us that he was the true king of beasts, and that he was coming to defeat you and take your kingdom away. He told me to tell you that." "Where is this upstart? This pretender? Take me to him!" And so the rabbit led the angry lion this way and that way, up and down, until they came to a large rocky well. "The other lion is hiding in that great fortress, O king," said the rabbit. "Ha! Pshaw! Hiding! What a coward! Is he large?" "Not so large as you, majesty." "Is he ferocious?" "Not so ferocious as you, your majesty, though he is quite ugly and stinky. I shall defeat him easily." The lion looked into the shaft of the well, and there in the well waters he saw his own reflection. When he did, he let out a tremendous roar, and of course the well roared right back at him. "Oh, I saw him. He does look ferocious and ugly," said the lion. "Hey, you!" roared the lion into the well. "Hey, you!" echoed the lion in the well. "I say you are a coward!" roared the lion. "I say you are a coward!" echoed the lion in the well. "I am the king of beasts!" roared the lion. "I am the king of beasts!" echoed the lion in the well. "Why don't you come and get me then?" roared the lion. "Bring it!" echoed the lion in the well. "Right! That's it! I'm going in!" And so the lion dove into the well to defeat his own reflection. And the foolish creature drowned. Or, at the very least, he never bothered those animals ever again. And when the other animals heard about the clever way that Rabbit helped solve their lion problem, well, they honored him with a special crown that had 2 long ears on it that he wears still to this very day. And that is why the rabbit has long ears. At least in India, that's true. Now that's true, completely true, the story I just told to you, the way it happened through and through, from ears to tail it's true. Now that's true, completely true, a knowing tale from crown to toes, the only rabbit really knows, from ears to tail it's true. Rabbit is always a trickster, and sometimes, in some stories, he gets to be the hero. In other stories, not so much. In Ghana, West Africa, they tell the story very differently. Rabbit didn't get his long ears. No, in Africa, he always had them. The difference is, all of the other animals had long ears too. Lion had long ears. Deer had long ears. Monkey had long ears. Civet had long ears. Wild dog had long ears. Why, even tortoise had the longest, most glorious ears you can imagine. And of course, rabbit's ears were as you would expect them to be. But the trouble that changed all of this came in a year when the rains did not come. One by one, all of their watering holes dried up, leaving the animals all desperate and thirsty, until ultimately they all met together at what had been their wettest watering hole to find a solution to the problem. "What will we do?" cried the deer. "This cannot last forever," said the lion. "Yes, but while it lasts," said Monkey, "not only are we thirsty, but we have nothing to eat, because nothing will grow without water."
"What about the people of the village?"
said Tortoise.
"They have water."
Yes, said Wild Dog, "but that's because they have tools to dig with. If we had tools, we could dig for water too." But Clever Rabbit had been listening carefully and came up with a plan on the spot. "Why don't we trade something to the people in exchange for tools? Then we can dig our own well and have as much water as we want." "But what could we give to the people in exchange?" the other animals cried. "We have nothing at all." "But just look," said Rabbit. "We each have very long ears. Perhaps if we cut off just the tips of our ears, we could trade them for the tools that we need." Well, it was true that they each had lovely ears. Perhaps they could afford to sacrifice just the tips of them to keep themselves alive. And so they all agreed to come the next morning to trade their ear tips for tools. And so they did. Lion and Monkey returned the next morning, their ears rounded and smallish, and Deer and Civet and Dog shortened their ears, and Tortoise sort of misunderstood and cut the whole things off. The other animals praised her and declared that she was the hero of the day, but ever since, of course, Tortoise has had none. As for Rabbit, well, Rabbit did not come. The other animals waited, but he didn't come in the morning. He didn't come in the afternoon. Something must have happened to Rabbit, they thought. Shame, too. It was such a good plan, and it was all his idea. But they decided they could wait no longer before journeying to the village to exchange their ear tips for tools. But their plan worked. They returned armed with hoes and spades and got to work immediately, working for most of the rest of that day and all of the next before they finally dug deep enough to strike water. Oh, what a celebration they had as their new, much-needed and well-earned watering hole began to fill with clear, cool water. But before even one of them could take a drink, they heard a loud rattling and rumbling noise coming from the forest. "What beast is this?" they thought, "coming to attack us?" And the animals scattered and ran far away, leaving their new water well unguarded. Slowly the noise approached, and as soon as it became clear that none of the other animals were around, out from the bushes jumped Rabbit, carrying a large calabash gourd. He sauntered brazenly over to the water hole and drank his fill of the water. "How clever I am," he thought to himself. "Not only did I not have to help with any of the digging, but I didn't have to cut off my beautiful ears either." He filled up his gourd with water, and then, as if cheating wasn't bad enough, he took a bath in the well, kicking up dirt and rocks and muddying the whole thing for everybody else. Then he just hopped away. When the other animals decided it was safe to return, they were angry and upset to find their water muddied. "We must catch and punish this thief," roared the lion. "And I think I know who it is we must catch," said Monkey. He found some muddy tracks in the grass near the watering hole. "It seems that by bathing he has revealed himself. It is a rabbity robber who has done the deed," said Monkey. So the animals set out to catch the culprit by using their new tools to dig up the stinkiest, stickiest green mud they could find. and mold it into the shape of a rabbit. They gave it eyes of stone and ears made from long leaves. And the next time they heard the rattle and bump of the calabash gourd, they hid in the trees and bushes instead of running away. Sure enough, down the trail to the watering hole came Rabbit. But when he saw the sticky green rabbit doll sitting by the edge of the watering hole, he stopped short. "Excuse me, cousin, but this is my watering hole. What are you doing here?" But the sticky doll said nothing. "I said, this is my watering hole," barked Rabbit. "Now tell me who you are and what you're doing here. You're going to ruin everything." But the sticky doll said nothing. "Now, cousin, you are just being rude. You're not going to answer me?" But the sticky doll said nothing. "You're not going to answer me?" But the sticky doll said nothing. "I say answer me or I will make you answer me," said Rabbit. But the sticky doll said nothing. "Fine," said Rabbit. So the rabbit walked over to the sticky doll and pushed it with one paw, and that one paw became stuck. "What is this? What is this?" said Rabbit. "You grab at me? You grab at me? Well, if you grab at me, I will grab at you." And he pushed on the doll with his other paw, and the other paw became stuck. And then one foot and the other foot, until Rabbit was completely stuck in the sticky mud. The angry animals came out of hiding and made unhappy faces at Rabbit. "Oh, you trapped me good, dear friends. What a good trick this is. I hope you don't mind the little trick I played on you, friends." "Because digging the watering hole was your idea," said Monkey, "we'll let you go this time."
But you still have your ears,
said Tortoise. "And you didn't help dig the well," said Deer and Civet, "so this water is not yours." "For those reasons," growled Lion, "if we ever see you around here again, then you'd better be ready to run fast," said Wild Dog. And so it is that Rabbit still has his long ears while all of the other animals do not. And whenever Rabbit sees anyone, he always runs away very, very fast. And at least in West Africa, that's true. Now that's true, completely true, the story I just told to you, the way it happened through and through, from ears to tail it's true. Now that's true, completely true, a cheater's tale from start to end, with Rabbit on the run again, from ears to tail it's true. That's right, both of those stories are completely true, as much as this kind of story ever is. And check out the art video that goes along with these stories on our YouTube channel. There's a link in the description below. And until we get together to tell more stories here at Treehouse, goodbye. Treehouse Museum is in Ogden, Utah, but don't forget that you can visit Treehouse anytime online at treehousemuseum.org.